What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I told you that I would go live. Thank you for clicking on this live. My name is Dustin, and today we're going to be talking about restaurants, keto friendly, low carb friendly restaurants. Because what is today? Today is Valentine's Day. Did you know that it's Valentine's Day? I bet you knew it was Valentine's Day. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Let's just go ahead and jump into this. So, again, today, like I said, we're going to be talking about keto friendly, low carb restaurants because it's Valentine's Day and our significant others typically want to go out to dinner. Now, one place that we like to go is Mexican restaurants because you can customize your fajitas, anything like that. You can say, yeah, give me the fajitas with the vegetables, a lot of cheese, sour cream, guacamole, hold the tortillas, the beans, the rice, hold all of it. You can customize it as you want. You don't have to get the burritos, the tacos, any of that stuff. Now, some of these restaurants may have lettuce wraps for your tacos and such. They may even allow you to bring your own low carb tortillas. That depends on the restaurant. I would reach out to them and call ahead and just in case, because you never know. You never know. So, Mexican restaurants, let me know in the comments below where you like to go to out to dinner with your significant other, whether it's for Valentine's Day, birthdays, whatever celebrations that you are celebrating to go out to dinner, or even just a Friday night because you don't feel like cooking. You don't feel like doing the dishes. You don't feel like doing any of that stuff. I know I am like that sometimes because I'm the one that does all the dishes. I do all the cooking. So when I have the opportunity to take the wife out and have dinner, so I don't have to clean up after anybody or even myself, totally into it. Cindy says she is going to be watching the replay. I appreciate you, Cindy, so very much. Thank you for being here. Yes. So, another restaurant idea, and probably unlikely. We like to go to like seafood restaurants, like places that have crab boils, crab bakes, that type of thing. So you can get, shrimp and crab, lobster, scallops, that type of stuff. I have a beard hair in my mouth. Go figure. Yeah. So those places are good. They are expensive, so they're not budget friendly by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely something that you can find keto friendly options. You can get the garlic butter, you can get all of that fun stuff there. And definitely a place that we like to go, just not as often, just because, like I said, they are expensive. We have places like that in town. They are called, like, there's like Juicy Crab, things like that. We used to have Joe's Crab Shack, but we don't have those anymore. So if you live in a place where you still have Joe's Crab Shack, you are extremely lucky because I miss Joe's Crab Shack because they would have sausage. And even if you are low carb keto, they will throw in a couple ears of corn, maybe a couple of potatoes. Now you can toss those to the side. You can choose, if you so choose, if you are a person that can moderate your food. Unfortunately, I am not a person that can moderate food that's at home. But if I go to a restaurant and they give me 3 or 4 potatoes, I mean, that's 3 or 4 potatoes. I'm not going to get any more potatoes because we don't keep them at home. So that's always a different type of thing. So whether or not you like corn or potatoes, if that fits into your low carb macros, your low carb lifestyle, have at it if you're having, somewhat of a off plan meal, but you're not trying to go off the rails. Nan is here. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I just needed to tell you, I hadn't had a chance to on air tell you thank you for becoming a member. I do appreciate you so very much. I hope you understand that. Thank you so much for being a member of this channel. Your support goes such a long way to making it sustainable for me to do what I do here. So far, just to recap, as we've been talking here, we've talked about Mexican food. You can get the fajitas with shrimp, and you can get them with beef and pork and chicken, and you can get them with the vegetables and maybe get some queso on the side. Check with what the queso's made of because a lot of times they may be making those with condensed milk or sweetened condensed milk. They're not always the cleanest options. But again, if this is a splurge type thing, you're just not wanting to do dishes and you're willing to absorb those extra carbs, if you're a person that can handle that, then that is something that is definitely an option on the table. Thank you so much, Shauna, for being here. You're making flourless chocolate cupcakes. Okay, sounds delicious. I wish you could send me one. So again, like I said, Mexican restaurants, fajitas, tacos if they'll allow you to bring your own little low carb tortillas or they have that type of stuff. Happy Valentine's Day, Nancy. Thank you so very much for being here. I do appreciate you so very much. Today, if you're just joining us, we are talking about low carb, keto friendly restaurants for date night ideas. Or going out with your friends, going out and doing something with people outside of the home because again, the last few years we've been stuck at home so much and getting out it's a little more difficult than it used to be, at least for me mentally, where we used to go out all the time. Now it's a struggle to get the energy or the desire to go out. Previously, before everything went down, we would go out on date nights every Tuesday night. We would go to, I guess, will be number three on our list. Number three on our list, Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, why we choose Buffalo Wild Wings over Winging It or Wings, etc., or any of those other places is the fact that you can get truly naked wings. So they're not coated in any kind of flour, any kind of starch, and they are fried in beef tallow, a far healthier, superior oil over almost any other restaurant out there right now that will fry their fries, their anything and everything in some sort of hydrogenated seed oils, canola oil, vegetable oil, that type of stuff. So you want to try to avoid that as much as you can. It's just not the best. Makes me feel crappy the next day, joints hurt, that type of stuff. Again, this is my mileage. This is my journey. Your mileage may vary. They may not bother you. You never know. So again, like I said, Buffalo Wild Wings, the sit down restaurant variant Buffalo Wild Wings does use beef tallow. It may be listed as beef shortening on their website. They have express locations that I do believe use canola seed oils. So pay attention. If you are at a location that's a sit down restaurant, they're classic, original location styles. They have like the seating areas with the booths and the tables, and then they have the bar area. They are most likely going to be utilizing beef tallow to fry their wings. And again, that's always something you can discuss with your server. And if they're not sure, have them go ask. Someone hopefully in that store is going to know. They can go look at what they pour into the fryer that they fry their wings in. It's going to have some sort of a label on it. At least one would hope. Now, that's three places that we talk about that we like to go on a semi regular basis. One place that we don't like to go. Now, just a place that we don't go because we don't feel that we get an adequate value out of it is going to be burger places. To us, burgers are something we can make at home easily and far more affordably. And why do you ask, something like that with burgers versus wings? Because I can make wings at home. but wings are kind of expensive whether you make them at home or go out. Obviously, more expensive out. Mexican food, we still make Mexican style food at home. We can still make, well, the crab and shrimp, we'll make shrimp at home, but the crab and such, we don't necessarily want to make at home. We can, sometimes you can get a good deal. Like as of yesterday, maybe through today, Fresh Time, if you have Fresh Times in your area, does have crab leg clumps for 5.99 a pound, which is stellar, super steal of a deal. And I would not pass that up if that's something that you're into and that's something that you would want to try. We almost got some last night, but we ended up going to Kroger and getting some food. Last night we got some beef cubes and some sausages and such. But I digress. So again, like I said, a place that we typically will avoid on date nights or just going out in general is going to be burger places because you're going to be paying for so much stuff that you're not going to eat. You're paying for the bun, the toppings, the sides, the fries, all of that. Unless they sell the patties a la carte, which is not something that always happens. They may or may not sell the patties a la carte. If you have a restaurant nearby that does, it's a nice sit down restaurant that has good quality burgers, good quality beef that tastes nice, and they do a la carte, and you can just buy the burger patties and then have them bring mustard or whatever kind of sauces you like out to the table, then I would suggest doing that. That could be definitely something that I would be interested in. But there's not a lot of those places, at least not in our area. Not that I've found. So again, three places so far that we like to visit for date nights would be Mexican restaurants, places like that have like Joe's Crab Shack. Unfortunately, we no longer have that particular chain here. We have like juicy crab and stuff like that, where you can get the crab bakes, the crab boils with the crab, the shrimp, and things like that in it. Buffalo Wild Wings is a top contender for us. We will go there. Used to go there on Tuesday nights when they did buy one get one free wings. It's right next door to the movie theater that we like to go to. So we would go catch a $5 movie, get buy one, get one free wings, have a good night, enjoy each other's company, see hopefully a decent movie. But as of late, there hasn't been a lot of compelling movie offerings out there for us to go to. And Buffalo Wild Wings changed their pricing structure. So it's no longer buy one, get one free. It's buy one, get one half off. So if you buy a 30-piece wing, you're basically buying the second 30-piece wing for the price of a 15-piece wing or half the price of the 30-piece wing, whichever one is the closest, I imagine. So definitely something to consider. Another place that you can go that we don't always go is a place like Outback, a steakhouse. So Outback, um, Texas Roadhouse, Longhorn, Logan's Roadhouse. I don't know what all that you would consider, what all you have in your area. Obviously, there's going to be places like Ruth Chris. Here in central Indiana, downtown, we have St. Elmo's, which is a very famous steakhouse. They have sauces that sell in the store. They have a shrimp cocktail sauce that's extremely spicy that will clear out your nasal passages. It's very good, though. Um, so, steakhouses, always want to make sure that you are asking them, how do they cook their meat? Do they cook it on an open flame? Do they cook it on a like a flat top? Do they use seed oils? Do they use vegetable oil? Do they use canola oil? You always want to ask them, do they cook it in beef tallow? Do they cook beef in the beef fat like they're supposed to? One would assume that cooking beef and beef fat would be the appropriate way to do it. But alas, a lot of these companies, a lot of these restaurants do not do that because they assume that customers want canola oil, which is an inflammatory seed oil. We will have a live sometime in the future where we discuss that if that's something that you are so inclined and would want to see. As I'm testing out these new lives, this format, this vertical format for you all, because it is something that YouTube is offering new to us. So if you find value in these type of lives, if this is something that you're interested in, that you find entertaining, let me know in the comments. I want to know. I want to hear from you. Let's know. Ask questions. Let's talk. Let's have a good time because I'm curious to know what you think about this new format. because, like I said, it's something that I'm new to this. I did one last week, last Wednesday at 2 o'clock, just like this week, but I didn't plan it. I just went live and I was doing the dishes, having a good time talking with everybody, and it seemed to go well. So I figured, why not do this type of thing midweek, 2 o'clock? Granddaughter is in preschool right now, so she's gone at this time, so the house is quiet. Shauna's awake, so she can join us because Shauna's on the West Coast and doesn't make my morning lives very often, because I will go live Tuesday mornings and I do go live on Sunday mornings really, really early. Usually Saturdays about 8 a.m. Eastern, depending on the guest and where that guest lives. If they're on the West Coast, then we'll go not, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we'll go live at 7:30. Just really depends where they are. Sundays, I go live at 7:30 a.m. with a big cup of coffee, just like I have right now, my Bucky's cup. I don't live anywhere near a Bucky's, about 4.5 hours away from the closest Bucky's. I take that back, 3.5 hours from the closest Bucky's. But that Bucky's is kind of out of the way, unless I'm going to visit Cindy, which I've never done. So I digress. Hit me up in the chat. I am so curious to see what you think about all of this, because, like I said, this is a very new thing that we're doing here. It's a new availability for us creators here on YouTube to talk with you in this format. We get to go into the short shelf. People scrolling by may find us, may find keto for the very, very first time. And if you are here for the first time and you are unfamiliar with the ketogenic lifestyle and you are curious, you want to know more, you want to find out a source of information that's kind of declutters the noise, that kind of removes the mystique behind the ketogenic diet, that's going to kind of shoot straight from the hip. As somebody who's been living this lifestyle since 2016, starting at over 420 pounds, I have lost well over 100 pounds and I've regained a lot of my health. My markers are good. My A1C is good. All of these things, all because I changed how I eat. So it's definitely valid for me. And if something that you are curious in, stick around, subscribe, hang out, talk to me, ask questions. So we were talking about burger places, steak houses, and I'm trying to think of other types of restaurants, because we've got wings, we've got steaks, we have burgers, we have Mexican food, we have all of that stuff. So, sort of the final type of restaurant that would be good for date night would be a barbecue place. Now, one concern that I have with barbecue places is the fact that most of the time they're using sugary rubs, sugary sauces. They're using sugary curing techniques. So in their brisket, their chicken, their pulled pork, their sausages, all of that usually have higher than typical ketogenic lifestyle carb counts in their meats. I went to a restaurant the other day for a meetup. Again, I live in central Indiana, and we had a meetup in central Indiana at a Smoky Bones restaurant. We had about 30 to 40 people show up, which was amazing turnout. We all had a good time. We had some good food, but I got the 16 smoked wings with no rubs, no sauces on them, and the cheddar, the cheddar jalapeno, the jalapeno cheddar sausages. Sausages were delicious. I have not looked up the carb count on those sausages. I'm afraid to. But I did venture and look at the menu, look at the ingredients and the carb counts on the naked wings, the smoked wings, which should have nothing on them. And they were somewhere between 20 and 50 total carbs for 16 wings. As I was eating them, there was sort of that kind of wheat aftertaste. It was like a breading aftertaste. So definitely something to consider when you're going to a restaurant. Don't be like me. Don't be like Dustin. Do your due diligence in deciphering the menu, finding out what looks good, look at the ingredients if they have it on the list, ask questions from the servers because they're going to be some of your best source of information. If they don't know and it's not on it's not on the ingredients list on a website, talk to the manager, inquire, ask them because let them know that you have some sort of food allergy. Like I would prefer to not have seed oils. I would prefer not to have wheat in my wings. Now, do I have a wheat allergy? No, but I can tell them that I do. That way, they are more likely to understand what I'm talking about. They may not understand what low carb and keto and why wheat matters to you. But if you say you have an aversion to, an allergic a reaction to, they're going to listen. And that's what I would try to say is when you're going out to restaurants, it's going to be your responsibility to make sure that you are getting what it is that fits you the best because you know how you react to food, you know what your triggers are. If you're like me and have food addiction issues, I have serious food addiction issues. It's no secret. I talk about it on my channel all the time, because it's one of those things that is something that I deal with. I have to be very mindful of the food that I take in, what I keep in the house, what I eat when we go out, not to bring leftovers home if I do have something off plan. Because if I do bring the leftovers home, what does that mean? I'm either going to eat them as soon as I get home or I'm going to eat them the next day, which then takes one off plan meal and turns it into two. So it's one of those things that you definitely need to be mindful of. And it's just something to just to be totally understanding because you have to understand yourself. No one's going to know you better than you. And if this lifestyle has taught me anything, it's how to understand how I feel. I didn't understand how much pain I was in until this way of living, this way of life showed me when the pain went away. Knees hurt. I was taking ibuprofen. I had allergy symptoms all the time. I was taking ridiculously, probably close to lethal doses of Benadryl. I don't recommend that. I am not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. And I would never recommend to you or anybody else to take anything that I wouldn't take for myself. Someone's asking if I was born on Friday the 13th. I believe I was born on a Monday. So not so close there. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. If you have any questions about a ketogenic lifestyle or any questions about weight loss, food choices, food addiction that I suffer, those type of things, let me know. Comment. I'm very sorry to hear that, Zach, and I hope that I hope that that happening to you doesn't devalue or doesn't cause you to devalue yourself. I hope that you can find solace in your friends, your family, loved ones, and I know it's a devastating blow, but it definitely would make sure that you're not letting the choices of that person dictate your value. You can only decide how much value you have. And one on Bet says they lost 20 pounds of fat. That's impressive. That's amazing. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. That's amazing. That's not an easy thing to do. Think about what 20 pounds is. Think about what we go through on a daily basis where I only lost a pound this week. I lost a half a pound this week. Well, if you only lose a pound every week, you only lose half a pound every week, that's more weight than you can lose in a year. If you lose a pound a week, if you lose a pound a week, that's 52 pounds in a year. So if you the loss of 1 pound, I only lost 5 pounds this month. You lost more than a pound a week in most scenarios. That's amazing. In 8 weeks? 100% amazing. 8 weeks, 20 pounds of fat. That's 10 pounds a month. That's amazing. Never say only. Never rely on the scale for your self worth either. That's one thing that I had to learn. The scale is a tool. The scale will show us how much we weigh, but that number is a deceptive number. There is so much information lacking out of that number. I see people going and doing everything they can. Their macros are on point, their food's on point, they're tracking, and their weight goes up. And they get devastated. How could this happen? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. But they never stop to think maybe, just maybe, they lost 3 pounds of fat, but gained 4 pounds of muscle. Now, a pound is a pound is a pound, but a pound of fat on the body versus a pound of muscle in the body look completely different. And a scale is only going to tell you that one point of data, just your overall body weight. It doesn't tell you your composition. It doesn't tell you water weight. It doesn't tell you that, you didn't sleep that well the night before and now you're up a pound because you retained water because you were tired and you didn't sleep well. There's so many factors at play here. So many factors in our daily lives that impact how much we weigh, what shows up on that scale. Now, while it's important to keep track of your weight loss and utilize a scale as a tool to show you what you're doing, you can't allow it to dictate your self worth. And then that's so very difficult because every day we jump on the scale. If we're up, we're devastated. And if we're down, we celebrate and we shout to the heavens, thank you. But when we're devastated and we're upset at ourselves, it's so very easy to slide backwards. And then that 1 pound up that may just be extra water because you didn't sleep well, or maybe you walked more than you did yesterday and your body's recuperating from that. Brenda Foley is here. Thank you so much, dear, for being here. I appreciate you very much. IDK says, get up. Again, the point of this live today, not only to discuss things that come up in the chat, as always, I love talking with you, answering questions, talking about your wins, your losses, your successes. But I wanted to talk about, because today is Valentine's Day, where are you going to go out to eat? Tonight? Tomorrow? Where do you go for date nights? I mean, it's a valid question. We've talked about Mexican restaurants because you can do fajitas. You can ask them to leave the tortillas off the table. You can say, don't bring me the beans and rice. Just bring me the pico de gallo, the sour cream, the guacamole. Bring me extra cheese. You know, load me up extra shrimp, extra steak, extra chicken, whatever kind of fajitas you like. We talked about steakhouses because you can get as big a steak as you want. We talked about going to Buffalo Wild Wings. The reason why I prefer Buffalo Wild Wings over other wing places like Wings, etc., and the other ones, depending on where you are, where you live in this country or the world, a lot of the fast food or the sit-down restaurants in the United States use seed oils. They don't use animal fats to grill or to fry their wings like Buffalo Wild Wings does. At their sit-down restaurants, they do utilize beef tallow. And Shauna says that her favorite Mexican place will make burrito in a bowl. Yeah, that's another thing. So Mexican food doesn't necessarily have to be traditional. It could be Cadoba, Moe's. It could be Chipotle. Though if you go in there trying to say, I don't want any beans, no rice, and I need to fill that bowl up with meat, you're going to be dropping about $25. At least in our area, maybe. Depending, your area may vary. Your area may be more expensive. You want the steak, the chicken, you want the pulled pork, whatever they have. You want all of it. You never quite know what they're going to charge you because you want all that stuff to fill the bowl because you're not getting the black beans, the regular beans, the rice, not getting all that carbs. You never quite know. I always forget about those type of places because they are important. I forget about those are on the go places. On the go is a totally different animal. On the go, I don't think you're going to take your Valentine's to you know Cadoba. I mean, you might. I mean, if you're 22 years old, maybe you don't have money for a fancy sit down restaurant. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But, you know, McDonald's has burgers you can buy a la carte. Wendy's will have burgers you can buy a la carte. Just about every fast food restaurant will have some sort of burger you can buy a la carte. Just ask them, do you cook these patties in seed oil with seed oil on the grill? If they do, find a different place to go. Sound off in the comments if you have questions. Let me know. This chat, because I'm only seeing maybe pieces of this chat. I don't know if I'm getting all of it. Let me see what I can find here. Let me bring this up and let me see what's going on. So, yeah. What do you think? What's something that you enjoy? What's a place that you and your significant other go on a semi regular basis? What's your go to place? Or even with just your friends? You have friends over, you have friends in town, you have whatever. Hello, Stacy. Good afternoon. Today we're talking about restaurants that you can go to enjoy date nights, low carb, keto friendly type of restaurants. We've talked about Mexican restaurants. We've talked about steakhouses. We've talked about seafood restaurants like Joe's Crab Shack. If you have those or the similar type in your area, like here in central Indiana, we have like the Juicy Crab and these type of places where you can still get like the boil, like the shrimp and crab boils and stuff. And then, like I said, maybe you need to navigate the potatoes and the corn depending on your discretion and what your triggers are with food. Shauna says, raking myself, let's see, taking myself to leftover Super Bowl prime rib, keto chow baked potato tots, and flourless chocolate cupcakes. Amazing. Brenda says they go to Longhorn Steakhouse. I don't know the last time I've been to Longhorn. I don't remember the last time I went to a steakhouse. I think the last time we went was up in Wisconsin with Chandra's sister and brother. We went to, I think we Texas Roadhouse. Now, I get irritated with I don't want a 6-ounce sirloin. I want a 15, 16, 18, 20-ounce sirloin. I want a lot of meat. A little dinky 6-ounce sirloin isn't going to do it for me. Stacy S says we go try restaurants and tell people if they are any good, and we live near New Orleans. How is, I mean, maybe you don't know. I'm not sure, Stacy. What are the best low carb places in New Orleans? We like to visit Alabama, Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is only like a 3-hour drive from New Orleans. And we've thought about just kind of heading over there. And I know yesterday was Fat Tuesday. Today is Ash Wednesday. So last night was a party. Today's not so much a party as far as I'm aware. I've never been to Mardi Gras, but Um, well, I did. Chris told me I need to wash my beard. Well, it's actually just gray. So I'm just getting old. But I mean, there's that. But thank you for that. I appreciate you, Mr. Williams. Um, all cap locks tell me to wash my beard. That's pretty nice. But thank you anyway, and I appreciate you. Thank you for looking out for the hygiene of my beard. I appreciate you. Anyway, so I would like to visit New Orleans. I've never been, but like I said, we like to go to Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is only like a 3-hour drive, give or take, as far as what the map tells me. It's a ton of seafood, and anything boiled, not fried. Okay, okay. Though it would probably be difficult to go into New Orleans and not have a beignet or two, which is definitely not low carb. But when in Rome, sometimes you'll eat as the Romans do. So another restaurant idea that we've talked about here that I'm not a big fan of because of cost is burger places. Because with a burger, you're getting like a little 2-ounce patty, maybe. and they're charging you, like, say you go to a smash burger place. You're paying $20 for a smash burger. If it's a double smash burger, maybe you're getting 4 to 6 ounces of meat on a smash burger. They're super thin and crispy. You're paying 20 bucks for 3 ounces of meat, and you're not eating the bun, you're not eating the fries, you're not eating all that stuff. So to me, that's kind of a waste of money. So, just weird things like that, right? So just little things like that that we look at. I can make smash burgers at home, $3 a pound, versus going out and paying $20. Now, it's the dichotomy is you want to support your local economy. You want to go to the small businesses, but at the same time, it has to make financial sense for you as well. So even still trying to, shop local, spend money on local foods, local restaurants that are new and all of that. Um, you got to do what's financially responsible for yourself. And going to a restaurant and spending $20 on food you're not going to eat, like the bun and the fries, doesn't make financial sense, at least personally. To you, maybe you're better off, and that's pretty cool. Lemster says they order Ruth Chris every day on Uber Eats. Well, that is fantastic. I hope that you have the best meals every day. I would even hate to know what that costs. Ruth Chris is probably what $120 a meal, and then you're doing it through Uber Eats, and that's another 30 bucks probably. Then you're going to tip 20 or 30 bucks, so there's like $200. Good luck with that. I have never ordered anything through DoorDash or Uber Eats. I've delivered for DoorDash to make extra cash, but I've not ordered it out. So I appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate that piece of information. But and I hope it's delicious. I hope they get it to you quickly enough. Charbroiled oysters too, and that is a big here. Oh, that sounds delicious. Now they're charbroiled, so they're not fried. Because a lot of times here in central Indiana, we are very far from the ocean. So we don't have any like fresh oyster places that I would go to that I would probably trust very much. But we're gonna see the fried oysters at a place, you know? And that's just not something that I'm really interested in. Fried oysters, not really interested. Um, yeah. Hamburger two, single Walter White. Hmm, not single, but I am just one person on the screen. But you know, as I was saying as well, so we've talked about Mexican restaurants, we've talked about burger places. We don't like to go to burger places. We've talked about wings, going to Buffalo Wild Wings above other restaurants just because you can get a proper like naked wing with no breading or anything like that. They will send them out to you with nothing on them, no sauces. You can order whatever sauce you want to dip in. That's your preference. That's up to your discretion. But they do use beef tallow. They don't use seed oils and all of that stuff that we're not big fans of. We've talked about, like I said, steakhouses, Mexican restaurants, wings, seafood, places like Cadoba. That's going to fall under Mexican restaurants. So lots and lots of places, barbecue places, but barbecue places come with discretion. They come with caution because, again, you don't know the amount of sugar and all the rubs that they're using, the sauces that they're going to lather everything in before they put them in the smoker. You just don't. And you can ask them, and they're only going to be able to give you some kind of ballpark of what kind of carbs are in their seasonings. If you look at the bottle of a seasoning and like the grocery store, it'll say it has 0 carbs in it, but the little container of seasoning has 200 servings in it. So you would assume that maybe it's a half carb, maybe just under a carb per serving, and there's 200 servings in there. That's 200. That's possibly 200 carbs. So definitely something to keep in mind. Sharon Holloway says, made it here working and missed the notification. That's fine. These are new. I'm just trying them out and just trying to try this out. Like I said, because these are a new thing we can do here on YouTube, these lives where we show up in the shorts feed. That says, if they give you pieces of French bread to get the butter, melted cheese with it too, have a good one later. Have a good one. Thank you for being here, Stacy. I do eat a lot of eggs. I said I am an egg, but I eat eggs. I buy 10 dozen eggs at a time. So right now, egg prices are kind of crazy. Egg prices are a little nuts. Uh, Walmart and Costco both are selling eggs 5 dozen for $10. So that's pretty crazy. Um, I like, I do eat a lot of eggs, the incredible edible egg, all that great healthy nutrition, protein, fat, and all those things that do a body good. Again, this is a ketogenic channel. We talk about the ketogenic lifestyle, how I've utilized that lifestyle to do wonders for myself, control food addiction issues, lose weight. Started over 420 pounds, and I have down well over 100 pounds now. Been living this lifestyle for 8 years, going on 8 years, my wife and I, and found great success, mental clarity, no medications, no longer diabetic, all these things. HbA1c is good, cholesterol is good, everything is good, all the biomarkers where they should be, as they should. Just avoid the standard American diet. Don't eat grains, don't eat excess sugar, don't eat all the processed trash that's in the middle of the grocery store. Try to stick to the outsides, meat, eggs, vegetables, all that fun stuff. That's what I did. I can't recommend anything to you because I'm not a healthcare professional. I am not a nutritionist or anything like that. So you get basically told what I have been doing for myself to be successful. Your mileage may vary. But anyway, where do you like to go to dinner? Where are some low carb spots? One thing that eggs brings up is any breakfast place. Now, another thing about breakfast, though, it does kind of grind my gears for the fact that you're going to be paying so much for eggs and bacon, sausage, omelets. And if you're going to a place like IHOP, you have to be careful because a place like IHOP is going to have things in their omelets maybe that you're not aware of. Like IHOP utilizes pancake batter in their omelets. So that's something you have to be aware of. Pancake batter, not low carb. Wheat, if you have a wheat allergy, you have celiac disease, you order an omelet, you've got wheat, gluten, have a flare up, be in pain, have a bad day. All because these places try to stretch their eggs because pancake batter is cheaper than eggs in some in the circumstances in this, and it makes them fluffy and it makes them palatable, and people go, "Ooh, these are so yummy." So you have to ask. You have to ask. Going out to eat, there's homework. And that's kind of terrible that we live in a society now where going out to dinner, you have to do your homework. You need to look at your menu before you go, ask questions when you get there of your server, the management. Make sure that if you have any food allergies, they're taking those necessary precautions to make sure they're not serving you food that's going to make you sick, cause you discomfort. Just like with peanut allergies, there's wheat allergies, there is basically look at the inability to process glucose, like a type 2 diabetic, a type 1 diabetic. You need to be mindful of all the glucose and the refined grains and the rices, the starches, corn, and everything that you take into your body because all of that stuff works against you. So I found success eating primarily meat, eggs, vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, keeping it as simple as possible. But again, this life is dedicated to going out to dinner because even when you are trying to live a clean lifestyle, you still want to go out to dinner. You still want to go out with friends. You still want to be around people. You don't want to be in your house all the time. You don't always want to do the dishes every day. Just celebrate. Even with our lifestyle, we try to get away from food as comfort, entertainment, celebratory things where every single day there's almost some reason to celebrate and eat cake. So you got to back away from that. But something like Valentine's Day, your birthday, holidays, your friends' birthdays, times of mourning, you want to indulge and you want to go out with friends. But you got to be careful because you have to be mindful and ask what's in all the food. So, along with me telling you where I like to go and what seems to be the easiest to deal with in this lifestyle, understanding that there's due diligence that has to take place. Hello, how are you? I'm sorry I cannot pronounce your name. But welcome. But yes, understanding that there is due diligence that needs to take place. I'm doing wonderful. How are you? There's due diligence that need to take place. You need to ask if you're avoiding seed oils, if you're avoiding gluten, if you're avoiding sugars, if you're avoiding all of these things. These are all questions you need to look at in advance at the menu. If they have ingredients online, talk with your server, talk with the management if they're not aware. Do everything you can. I mean, there's plenty of websites out there as well, on top of the normal websites in place. Um, Plenty of websites out there that will dissect the ingredients of a restaurant outside of the restaurant's proper website. So there's plenty of resources out there that can help you with that. You just have to look. So, have you enjoyed this live? So it says, when I open the translator, or I'll open the translator, I won't understand your language. Okay, I understand. We have a very big, small world out there. We all speak different languages, but that makes the world a wonderful place. It really does. We eat cooked cabbage every few months. Carter, what's happening, Carter? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Again, we're talking about today restaurants where we go, where we can get clean food, where we can, well, clean as you can get in a restaurant, but low carb, ketogenic lifestyle type foods where you can get breakfast food, meats, you can get wings, that type of stuff. Now, one thing that we have here in central Indiana is close by to me. We have a restaurant that's a pizza restaurant, single location, family owned. I know the owners. They make pizza. It's a pizza restaurant. Now, one thing you would think, well, pizza's not going to be very low carb, but they have done the due diligence and created recipes and worked with manufacturing to get ketogenic crusts for their pizzas. They've developed them themselves. They work with a manufacturer so that they can make them more efficiently. So when they first started making the keto crust pizzas, they were coming in at like 3 in the morning and working all day to get things ready to be able to have like 20 crusts. You know, they weren't able to sell that many. Now they work with a manufacturer who can then make them for them, freeze them, ship them. They can then make the pizzas and you can get them every single day. So they have keto crust pizzas, they have keto breadsticks, they have soups, they have a salad bar. So for that, I'm very fortunate to have that really just down the street from me, where a lot of markets, a lot of states, a lot of cities don't have that luxury. A lot of places just aren't coming around to the fact that people want that type of environment, that they want those products, that they want that experience, that there are so many people out there who are keto curious, low carb curious. They're tired of feeling sad. They're tired of feeling sick. They're tired of being overweight. I know I was. I was extremely tired of being overweight. I didn't know what to do. Well, Sherry, no, it's not cauliflower crust. Um they make it into what's called fathead dough. So it's a mixture of cheese and almond flour and egg and such like that. So it's not cauliflower. There are a couple of places in town that do make a cauliflower crust, but even with that, you got to be careful because they use rice flour as a binder. So rice flour, not low carb, pretty high carb actually. Apparently, eating pizza is healthier than eating a cereal for breakfast. Cereal for breakfast is probably about the most unhealthy thing you can eat. Anything that you pick up that's in a box that says fortified with nutrients, if it has to be fortified, it's not for you. If they have to add nutrients to the food, it's not food. And realistically, it's all sugar. The grain they make it from is sugar. Your body turns it right to sugar. The sugar they use in it is sugar. And then they all put it together and hold it together with seed oils. Then you douse sugar water, or AKA milk, onto it, like a low fat milk. That's basically 12 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. So basically, sugar, sugar, sugar. Yeah, Sherry, no problem. Am I a health blogger? I would not say that. I make content, recipes. I help break down information for people because it took me a long time to figure all this out. And I figure if I can save people time and headache and help them understand and navigate a ketogenic, low carb lifestyle the way that I was able to do oh so many years ago, and things have changed. So the ketogenic lifestyle that I lived back in 2016 is not the ketogenic lifestyle that I live today. Things have changed, information has changed. You have to grow and adapt. So, this channel allows me the voice, the reach, the ability to help people gain some clarity. Now, I am by no means the expert on all of this, but I'm in a community with lots of people who are doing this themselves, and we interact. We are building this wonderful community with people out there who are sharing their experiences, sharing their thoughts, their successes, their failures, and we work together to hopefully bridge that gap. Because I know when I was over 420 pounds, I felt hopeless, lonely. I felt that, I'm just going to end up like my mom, who had passed away from a heart attack in 2013. She had a massive stroke and heart attack and passed away. I thought, that's just what's going to happen for me. That's just going to be what my life is. So the hopelessness sets in, the helplessness sets in. So if I can make this kind of content and people can find it, and it can shed a little bit of light on things that have worked for me, build a community where people can share their experiences, again, their successes, their failures, and we can build that and we can be a beacon for others who felt the same way that I did, then I'm going to do it. 100% I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start going live here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The wife and I go live on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I go live with a guest on Saturday mornings between 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on where the guest is located. So if they're on the West Coast, East Coast, Central, United States, sometimes I may have a guest on from Australia, England, London. I've had people that I've talked to from Jakarta, trying to bridge the gap of the world, bringing everybody together because we can't do this on our own. There's so many people out there who think that they are alone in their struggles. They think they're alone in the things that they're going through. They think that they're alone with how they feel. And I felt like I was alone for so long. There were so many things that I dealt with that I didn't even feel comfortable telling anybody until I got into this community and realized that I am not alone. Other people share the same struggles that I do. So it says a family member told me that let's see, told me that it was, and I try it because it's several autoimmune disorders. I haven't tried it yet because honestly, all the info can be a little bit overwhelming. Now, what I would recommend, and now I can't give you any medical advice because I am not a doctor or healthcare professional or anything, but as someone, if you have autoimmune issues, I would look at simplifying anything, the information you have, simplify it down to an elimination. Remove as many factors as you can. That means pepper. A lot of people that I have seen that have found success with their autoimmune, they have basically gone to what's called a lion diet. The lion diet is simply beef, salt, and water, and see how your body reacts. And then once you're kind of if you're able to get your autoimmune symptoms to start to ease up, whether it's Crohn's, whether it's ulcerative colitis, whether it's eczema, um, any of these things that can be autoimmune related, even down to joint pain, that type of thing. I have seen reports that people have utilized this type of elimination to see to get it to kind of subside, and then they can slowly diet. Some people can't even have pepper. Pepper blows them up. Maybe that might be the case for you, but maybe not. Maybe you can do, like I said, vegetables may be a problem for you. You don't know. Broccoli could cause you joint pain. Seed oils are a huge problem. Seed oils cause so many problems with autoimmune. But again, it's your journey. So I would recommend, like I said, I can't give you any medical advice. But what I would do if I had severe autoimmune issues was remove as much out of the equation as I could. Meat, beef, salt, water, and see how that goes and go from there. I don't know how to lose weight. I'm 16, 6 foot, 252 pounds, and it's hard to lose weight. I would recommend looking at your diet. What are you eating? Are you eating cereals, sugary foods, candies? Are you eating pasta? Are you eating that kind of stuff? Those things are going to vastly inhibit weight loss and probably promote weight gain. What I did was removed all the carbohydrates that I could out of my diet, sugars, grains, pastas, rice, legumes, anything. No quinoa, no hummus. Basically focused on meat, eggs, vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, incorporated fats like butter, lard, tallow, eat basically beef, chicken, some pork. Pork doesn't really agree with us anymore, so we don't eat a lot of pork now. But that's what I did to lose weight. And I was well over 400 pounds. So definitely something to consider. Like I said, I am not here to give you any advice. I'm only here to tell you what I did for me and what I used for my own success. And keeping it as simple, just like Shauna Air Fry Auntie says, keep it simple. Because when you go and you overcomplicate it, it just gets confusing and you get upset and you're likely to not follow through. As simple as eating frozen Walmart burger patties, some fried eggs, scrambled eggs, and some steamed broccoli with some butter. As simple and easy as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to go and look at some of the recipes I have on my channel are complicated. They take a long time to do. But I don't always recommend those because if you're trying to start this from scratch and you're trying to make yourself feel better and you're trying to eliminate if you're trying to eliminate issues for yourself, you have to start from somewhere that's easy. For me, I had to eliminate things that bothered me. I don't like a lot of meal prep. I didn't want to pack a lunch. Intermittent fasting worked for me where I would eat 1 to 2 meals in the evening where I didn't have to worry about packing a lunch for work. I would just make a coffee and head on my way. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand your own limitations. You have to understand your strengths. You don't want to start something and push yourself in a direction you're not going to go. If you know that you're not a person who's going to meal prep and want to cook 3 meals a day, that's just not something you're going to do, and you're going to want and be distracted or tempted to stop in at McDonald's, then you have to look at what that is and find what works for you at McDonald's. You can get 90% of the way there eating McDonald's burger patties with Coke Zero. Is it optimal? No. Like I said, you can get 90% of the way there. You're going to want to tweak things along the way. You're going to find things that do work, but you have to work with yourself. Like if you're a truck driver, over the road truck driver, I mean, finding, getting boiled eggs and eating meat patties out at fast food places, that's what you're going to have to do. Is it optimal? No. But is it going to help you find success? Most likely. I can't say yes for a guarantee because there are no guarantees in this world. Keeping it simple. I can't stress keeping things simple as an important thing enough. So let's see. Nourishment Redacted is here. Thank you, Ellie, for being here, dear. Hey there. This is the new shorts format of a live. Very cool. Excited to hang out for a bit. Yes. Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited for this too. I hopefully that it being in the shorts feed, people swiping by will stop give a chance to get to know me a little bit, hear what I have to say, become interested, and maybe we'll see what happens. In the beginning, I didn't do any recipes. I did whole food meals or meats, very low carb veggies, cheese. Yes, that's one thing. I mean, for me and starting, I mean, even in the very, very, very beginning, I had to take a lunch to work because I was hungry all the time. When you're overweight, like I was, and you're hungry all the time, and it doesn't matter how much you eat, you're always hungry. Starting off, I would not worry about any calories, how much protein you're getting, how much fat you're getting. Just don't be hungry. If you were like me and had those hunger issues where you were hungry all the time, I was taking boiled eggs to work, like 6, 8, 10 boiled eggs to a day of work, string cheese, pepperonis, lunch meat, doing little lunch meat and cheese wraps. And I had that all day. Now, is that optimal? Eating all day? No. But in the very beginning, not being hungry and making sure you're full of the things like eggs, meat, cheese, some veggies is going to go a long way to keep you from reaching for the Snickers bar, the Coca Cola, all of those things. It's going to help go a long way from you going to McDonald's. 8 years in, and I still have triggers that make me want to go to McDonald's and get chicken nuggets and French fries. Things happen. Things stress me out. And I'm like, you know what? I want McDonald's. Do I get it? 75, 80, 90% of the time? No. Sometimes I give in because I am not perfect. I'm human, just like all of you. And Brenda says, I loved how I could eat all I wanted of the meats, eggs, and bacon, eat till I was comfortably stuffed. 100%. And I never felt bloated. I never felt like so full that I was going to explode like I did when I was eating all the carby foods. So a typical meal for me back when I was over 400 pounds would be corn dog nuggets, corn dogs. I would eat macaroni and cheese. I would eat pizza rolls, things that were easy. Throw them in the oven, make, something that would take minimal effort to cook. And then I would eat by myself in my room watching TV until I could barely move. Until if I felt like I moved too much, I might explode. I don't have that anymore. And I can eat 2 big steaks and not have that feeling anymore and feel satisfied. Some days I go and I forget to eat. It's like I get up and I've had my coffee for the day, and then I will go off and do my daily stuff. We have our granddaughter throughout the day. We take her to preschool. I've got chores throughout the house that I have to do. I have this YouTube channel that I take care of. My wife is home, and I will be like, you know what? It's 7 o'clock and I've forgotten to eat today. And I don't even feel bad. So, what do you think? What do you think of this format? Do you think it's viable? Do you think that you get any kind of value out of this format? I've been scrolling through the last week trying to find compelling videos, compelling lives, and I see a lot of video game play, people sitting and chatting, kind of like this, but with no real discussion going on. But I kind of want to bring something different. I want to bring compelling conversation, compelling information, hopefully make things better. Courtney, thank you so much for being here, dear. Hey, Courtney, Fellowship of Oddballs, 100%. Hello, 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 my believe. How are you? So I'm going to do these at least once a week. I'm thinking about maybe doing one a week where it's late, late at night, like after 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just don't know what day a week that will be. But if you want to subscribe to me, follow, keep an eye out for what I'm got now at 4 lives a week. I do Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This will be Wednesdays at 2 p.m. I do a Saturday in the morning and a Sunday early in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And I put out regular content and shorts as well. So keep your eyes peeled if this is the kind of content that brings you value. that you're interested in, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Consider becoming a member. I have a lot of great members, so many great members that I am very appreciative of. Shauna's a member, Nan's a member, Brenda's a member, all of you wonderful people. And I will continue to try and bring you compelling content that provides value, information, things that can help propel your life forward. That's what I'm trying to do. We are chatting about keto eating. Even if you want to talk about things that are frustrating to you in the ketogenic lifestyle, what is frustrating? Like I said, even with the information about the restaurants that we like to go to, I talked about restaurants that I don't like to go to because that's important as well to give that kind of information. Because why would I want to go to, why would I want to go to a burger place that's going to sell me 4 to 6 ounces of burger for $20 where I'm not going to eat the bun, all the fixins, the fries, and all that stuff? Even though I want to support local small businesses, I do support the keto restaurant Rockstar Pizza in Brownsburg, Indiana. I do support them as often as we can. I have brought people there from Canada, multiple states, all over my state as well, as in I live in central Indiana. So that's just a goal of mine. I want to support small businesses. I want to support you all. I want to provide you compelling information. I want to have great conversations. So if you enjoy this, let me know in the comments. Let me know after this video is done. Send me a comment telling me what you think. If you subscribe, let me know. Thank you so much. I appreciate that compliment of my beard. I appreciate you. It is part of the logo, so I got to keep it, I guess. Bald, glasses, and a beard. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. I don't have an outro video just yet, but I will be making one. Again, let me know what you think of everything that I've said today. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you Saturday. I have Shelly from Hungry Heath. She'll be on with me, I believe, at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how long she wants to talk. We're going to talk about her journey, her successes, her failures, and her life with Heath. And then sometime soon, I'll have Heath on as well. But I've got a lot of great guests coming up, and hopefully you will stick around and hang out with me when I talk to them and have coffee with me on Sunday mornings and hang out with Chandra and I on Tuesdays. But anyway, thank you all so very much. Ellie, Shauna, all of you, Courtney, everybody that's come in here. And Liddy Naturo was asking, what's the topic of conversation? That was restaurants that are keto, low carb, friendly to navigate for date nights. But with that, if you want to catch the replay, I'd appreciate it very much. As always, I'm terrible, and I've always got a Midwest goodbye because it takes me forever to get out of here. But anyway, thank you all so very much for being here. I love your faces, and I'll see you next time.